Call me stubborn, but I am just not on that app dating life right now. Yes, I would love to meet my person. Yes, I cannot wait to be married and to start building my family with someone. Although I'm trying to stop saying I can't wait, because obviously I can. I just am excited for that time if that's what God wills for my life. But yeah, I just don't feel it's going to happen on the apps. I don't feel it's going to happen on a dating site. I feel quite convicted about this, and I can't decide if it's my own stubbornness or if God is trying to tell me something. Anyway, so ways to actually get dates, get asked for dates, to meet someone IRL in real life. Number one is being approachable. I know that sounds really obvious and really like, okay, that's not actually a practical tip, but there is really something in being able to just see someone who seems open and receptive to a conversation. So I would say in that, don't always have your phone out when you are, I don't know, say you're eating alone at lunch or something. Don't just be on your phone. Like, be willing to just sit there in the moment, maybe with a book. A book is a really good conversation starter, because someone might be like, oh, hey, I've read that book. It's really good, isn't it? And, that's a good way in. Because when you're always on your phone, or if you have headphones in, especially AirPods, which I don't like because I'm suspicious of Bluetooth, but AirPods are really annoying because, you're like, I'll see someone when I'm walking my dog and I'm like, hi, good morning, and they just don't hear me and I'm like, oh. And I really do feel like it loses that human connection, because we're no longer having that. Like, even sometimes we go to a shop and we have, this interaction with someone and we've not even made eye contact with them. And I think so, having this more approachable, very human-centric nature about you is really good, and it leaves you open for the meet cute if that's what you're after. I'll tell you a funny story. I actually was on a flight recently and I left my phone on the plane, and this guy picked it up, and he thankfully, because he must have seen me like scrambling through my bag afterwards, and he was like, I think you forgot something, and it was my phone. And I was like, thank you so much, that's great, blah, blah. And then we talked a little bit, parted ways, and then I went to the loo, and then when I came out, he came out of the men's bathroom, and I was obviously like, oh my gosh, this is the man I'm gonna marry, because God is just sending him my way in all different kind of ways, and what a great origin story. And then we talked until baggage claim, and he did actually ask me out on a date. It didn't happen because our values weren't actually aligned, because that was just a cute meet cute story. But what a fun experience for me to be like, these things still happen. And I'm not saying that you should leave anything on purpose, but obviously it was a bit like a very modern, very expensive and very risky dropping the hanky, like forgetting the phone. But I didn't do it on purpose. I was just really prioritizing the apple strudel that I had in my bag. And I was like, I need to remember to not forget that. Anyway, that leads me to my second point, which is women, don't be afraid to drop the hanky. For too long, maybe the past year at least, I have been really on this whole, I'm leaning into my feminine energy. I want to be just super receptive, and I want the man to pursue me, and I want him to do this. And I have to admit, it's not been working amazingly for me, because I think I've been very stubborn in the sense of the guy needs to do everything, and the guy needs to make the first move. And I'm definitely learning that it is a dance, and that I can do my steps as well. So don't be afraid, women, to drop the hanky. It doesn't mean you need to full blown ask this guy out, but you could just, say hello or something like that. So I'm trying to be better and bolder and braver at doing this, because I think it's good if a woman can kind of just drop a few breadcrumbs for the guy to be like, hello. So yes, don't be afraid to do that. And go to places with like-minded people. So, we are so blessed, especially in cities. If you're Catholic, there's so many young Catholic events. There's so many Catholic events that you can go to meet other people who share your faith, or if you're into a hobby. And if you watched any of my other videos, I just list out really random hobbies. I'm like table tennis, or photography, or horse riding. Go places where you are genuinely very interested yourself. So it's always going to be a good, because you're doing something to, better yourself, to learn something, to have just this, sense of relaxation or purpose or enjoyment. And you might meet someone there who has the same passion and the same hobby. And that's a really nice way to have that initial interest and that initial shared mutual interest in something. So yeah, that's a good one. And this one may be controversial because us women, we love to go in packs, but go to places alone. Because I have quite a few times gone somewhere with some girlfriends or with my sister, and the whole time, even though there's been many men around, I've just stayed in that group. I've just stayed with the women, and I can understand that it can be quite intimidating for like one guy to just walk in and be like, hi, group of 6 women who I don't know, I'm a man, whatever their name is. So I do really sometimes see the advantage of just going somewhere alone. And yes, it's scary. And yes, you kind of feel like, because you're able to just circulate the room and mingle and talk to different people. And it can be a lot more inviting as well for others to talk to you if you're on your own. And I always really respect if I go to an event myself and I don't really know anyone, I do the classic, like maybe going to like the bookstore and I'm like reading a book or I'm doing something. I'm trying to not stand there on my phone, and I'm also trying to not stand there looking really weird. So I'll do something to keep myself busy, but in a receptive state. So I'm just looking at this stall, or I'm just reading this poster. And thankfully, most of the time someone will be like, hey, are you here for this event? Or do you know so-and-so? And it's a really good opening, and then you can just meet new people, a new friend, and maybe your person you don't know. And lastly, don't be afraid to speak about your singleness. I always wonder why more people don't matchmake others. And I think it's because as humans, we're just quite self-centered and we often don't necessarily think about the needs of others. So don't be afraid to say like, hey, I'm still single. If you know anyone, please let me know. Or whatever you're gonna say, just to put it out there that you are open to being set up, you're open to blind dates, you're open to people making suggestions from their own network, because I think that's just a smart strategic move to just put yourself out into the world and, really see what your social networks can do for you in real life, because you don't know the conversations that person's going to have with a man who might be like, yeah, I'm still looking for the one. And then they'll be like, ding, ding, ding. And this actually happened to a colleague of mine recently at work. And it's so beautiful because they met last July and they're getting married exactly a year later. And it all was because, the mutual friend met this person, had this conversation and was like, hey, I think actually you could be a good match with this person. And, and also if you're watching this, you can do that for others as well. You can be the matchmaker. I am so into the concept of matchmaking. I think we need to bring it back. So anyway, those are my points to get dates in the real world, IRL, not on dating apps, in 3D or 4D. I guess we're actually 4D. And, be able to really see that person and their charisma and their style and their swag. I'm really into swag. Something that I just can never explain. When I find someone attractive, I'm like, they just had a swag. And people are like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. But it's something, it's just this kind of confidence or this way of being. And I say confidence, it doesn't necessarily mean that they come across super confident. Because also sometimes, what's it? Adorkable. People can be adorkable, like dorky, but also adorable. Anyways, I'm gonna stop going on tangents, but I hope this is gonna help more of us get dates in real life, because if you are like me and you're being stubborn and you're not going on dating sites, we need some other avenues. So please let me know if you have any other tips on how to get a date in real life. And I will speak to you soon. Okay, bye.